Evening, East Texas. This is Brett, and welcome to my backyard. Actually, today we are on my front porch. We've got a little video about potatoes today, and they should be out in the backyard, but lately I've been having trouble getting stuff moved around like I want to, and so some of these things are still up front here. But the thing I wanted to show you about the potato growing today, let me flip this around here, is this year I've started using these bags. They are similar to some of your tarp material, and when they're fully folded out, they're about the size of a 5-gallon bucket. Makes them a good size for growing a crop of potatoes. And the thing I like about these is that they're easy to store, a lot easier to store than 5-gallon buckets, take up a lot less room. And as you can see here, when you get started, you can fold the sides of them down really well. I like them that they've come with these handles here. Makes them easy for moving around when I finally get them out there to the backyard. And the other thing they have is along the way, some people that are always anxious, always looking every day, like me, wanting to know what's going on, they've got these little Velcro sides here, so you can check the status when we get a little further along in the growing season. The thing about potatoes is when you start off, it's better if you wait until the eyes of the potatoes have a little growth to them, a little sprout to them before they planted. You can plant them earlier than that, but they tend to, you can figure out which ones are going to grow or not a lot better if you wait until the eyes start to sprout up. If you want to use pieces of potato, a lot of times you don't have to use a whole potato. You can cut a potato into several pieces as long as each one has an eye. But I would recommend that if you do cut a potato, you wait a few days before you plant it to allow that cut edge to dry, because if you try to stick it directly into the soil, you could experience some potato rot. This is one of the things I found with the potatoes that's the biggest problem, is the potato rotting in the soil. A good rule of thumb with potatoes, it's better to be too dry than too wet on them. But to get started, what you want to do is put a few inches of soil, at least 2 to 3 inches, in the bottom of a container wherever you're going to plant them. And then once you have the soil in the bottom, you can see in this container I have a few different ones. These are a Yukon Gold potato that I've started here. And you want to get them covered up just barely with the soil until they start to sprout. Now right here I have one that's just beginning to get a sprout on it. And the thing with the potato too is, unlike some other plants, more like a tomato, that they can handle being covered on the plant as it grows. And so they actually prefer it. And the more that you keep the potato covered, the more potatoes you'll end up with. And so here's one a little further along. I wanted to save this for a few days till I can show you. And as it grows along, I've already covered it once. We're looking at about 5 to 6 inches of soil in this pot right now. But very simply, I want to just put some soil in here and cover up most of the plant as it grows. You don't want to get it too far along, because as it grows, if you keep covering it with the soil here, then it will produce other root stock in there. I don't want to cover up my little tag there. I'll keep what kind it is. But the more roots you have, the more potatoes that it can grow from that root stock. And so when the potato grows up, you want to wait typically until it flowers and the flowers begin to die back. And when that happens, or when the tops of the potato plant begin to die back, that's when you know that your potatoes have fully developed to as much as they're going to develop, and that then you can pull them up out of the soil and see how much you've come up with. And so, as you might be able to see, it's starting to get rainy again here today, so we're going to have to wrap this up. But thanks for tuning in, and y'all be sure, if you like this video, to share it. Leave me a comment about some future videos you'd like to see. Y'all have a great evening.